Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So this will be part 3, scene 3, the first part of scene 3, where I'm going to be showing you how to recreate this part, right? So in this first part, I will show you how to create this number counting up. So the naira, the figure counting up. I'm going to be showing you how to recreate that. In the next tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to recreate this bundle, this 1000 naira bundle. I'm going to be recreating it in Blender, and I'm going to be showing you how to do that in Blender. So to recreate this number counting up, let me create a new scene. Control Command End. I'll call this scene 3. I'll leave it at 1920 by 1080. I'll still leave these values the way they are. So first thing I want to do, I just want to come over here and pick my light streak. The light streak I created in the previous video, I'll pick that up here, and I'll just place it here. Ctrl V to paste. Okay. So next thing I want to do, just come over here and type in the figure. It could be 3000. I've picked the color already. So this is the color, the value for the color. If you want to use the same color too. This I'm using Montserrat. You could use any font. Let me use Montserrat bold. Okay. Let me just reduce the spacing in between a little bit. Oops, no. Montserrat bold, yeah. Let me reduce spacing in between a little bit. Yeah, so let me leave this at 3000. So what I want to do now is that I'm going to go to effects and preset and type in point control. Just type point control. POI, yeah, point control, and then just place it on the 3000 on your text. Yeah, it could be any text. You can type anything, it doesn't have to be 3000. Just place it on your text. So what you do next is to come over to your source text, and drag this peak wing over to this first value. I'll be using this first value. You could use the second value, but I want to be using this first value. So you drag it to this first value and you change to 960. Okay. So what you want to do now is to come and pick two values. So you can put a keyframe for the first value and let the first value be 0 or whatever number you want to start with. And let me open my keyframe. Open all the keyframes here by pressing on U. Yeah, pressing U, the keyframe opens. So maybe I'll move like 20 frames, and then I will change this to 3 million. 3 million. So the value moves from, let me move this, widen it. So the value moves from 0. It moves from 0 to 3 million. Okay. So I want to put this at the middle. Let me centralize this. Okay. So it moves from 0 to 3 million. Okay, so the next thing I want to do now is that if you look at the value, you find out that the value have decimal places, right? So I want it to be whole number. So how I will do that, I'll come to the source test. And just come over here and type math.round. Click on enter. I'll copy this and put it inside this close bracket. So now there's no longer decimal places. It moves from 0 to 3 million. So let's look at the reference. It seems to start from 8,742. So maybe I will start from there. I'll just come to click on you, come over here. So instead of starting from 0, I want to start from 8,000. Just type 8,742. Yeah. So this is where it starts from. It starts from here and then moves. Okay. So let's see how this goes. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. So one more thing again, you find out that this doesn't have the naira sign, so I'm going to put in the naira sign before I put in the naira sign. I want to put in the comma. So after every three figures, counting from the right hand side, there should be a comma in the number. So what I will do is that I'll go back to my source test where the code is, and then I'll bring in add an expression to this. So let me bring in the expression. I'll be putting the expression in the description. So I'll bring in this expression and I'll place it here. So what this expression does is that it's going to convert this to a string and then add a comma to it. So we now have from 8742 to 3 million. Then the last thing I also want to do now is I'm going to add the naira sign. So that is very simple. I'm just going to come over here in quotation. Someday, put n. I'll type n. I'll put it in quotation. Shift n here. And let me type here n. So I'll put n in quotation mark and then put plus. So n plus this, you have something like this. So you now have n there. But let me centralize this. Centralize. Okay, in the middle. But n is not the naira sign. So how do I get the naira sign? I'll just go over to Google. I'll type naira sign. So I'm going to have this. I'll copy the naira sign and I'll come over here and just replace it with the naira sign, and voila, you now have the naira sign. So yeah, that is how I did this part. And in my next video, I'm going to be creating the 1000 naira bundle. So watch out for that. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, on notifications, as I'll be dropping more tutorials.